Hey everybody, this is us for the Stone on Gaming with episode 6, match number 5 with Boros Burn here in Modern, playing naya Lords. Take on the deck, which is similar to basically a Boros version of the Rakdos builds, featuring Light Up the Stage and Skewer the Critics. We've removed Lightning Helix and Skullcrack and Eidolon from the traditional Boros builds. Skullcrack and Eidolon have been moved to the sideboard, Lightning Helix has been removed entirely. We're playing Boros Charm in place of the Bump of the Knights that the Rakdos list played. 3 copies of Shard Volley and 2 copies of Grim Lavamancer, and then 19 lands, along with a 1-of Stomping Ground for Cinder Vines on the sideboard. As a friendly reminder, if you like what you're seeing on the channel, please consider subscribing, giving us a thumbs up, and leaving a constructive comment down below. Rest in pieces for graveyard matchups, Skullcrack for any type of life gain, and when you need to play a little bit more instant speed, Eidolon the Great Revel, pretty good against a lot of the format. Decks like Storm, decks like Burn Mirror, decks like Control decks, Is It Phoenix decks. You know, there's a whole slew of decks Eidolon's good against. There's also some it's not good against. Not good against Merfolk. It's not good against spirits or humans. Stirring Blood pretty good for the small creature matchups, and then Cindervine, kind of the new hidden tech / all-star in a lot of these lists. Comes in a lot of the same matchups where Eidolon's really good. Also serves as your out to things like this, Chalice of the Void, Leyline of Sanctity, Bogle's decks, Hardened Scales decks, 4-color War decks. So, interesting piece of tech. It might be worth a splash of having 1 Stomping Ground in the deck again. That's something we're continuing to test. And beyond that, let's go ahead and hop into the 5th and final match in this series. So next time out, we'll definitely be doing a league. We did the 2-man queues this time around, mainly because I was testing somebody else's deck list. Usually when I'm playing somebody else's deck lists, I run a bunch of practice stuff. So shout out to Nathan. His list is pretty solid. There's a couple things I disagree with, but you know, that's just a matter of deck building preferences with Burn. I'm not a huge fan of the card Shard Volley, so I tend to shy away from that as anything more than a 1-of in any lists I run. I've already mentioned in a couple of the videos that probably maybe shave 1 or 2 of those for a couple copies of Forkbolt if you're interested in the Spectacle plan. As far as the sideboard, I think the sideboard's been pretty solid. Maybe 4-path to Exile is no longer as necessary in the format. It's like 2-path and 2 Searing Blood when you already have 2 copies of Grim Lavamancer on the main might be pretty solid. Cindervine's pretty solid card. 3 Rest in Peace is a minimum. Going in again against Dredge and some of the Hollow One decks, especially Dredge, that's kind of a upper end staple of the format right now. With this is an interesting hand. We're on the draw. It's fortunate and unfortunate. We're definitely keeping this hand. Triple Swift Spear if we draw lands could get quite ugly for our opponent. Alright, could be the Burn Mirror. And please. I have a feeling the Swift Spear is going to get bolted. Oh, okay, we're up against Living End. Interesting. Usually a pretty reasonable matchup, but we do need to draw a land to win this game. On a red Living End? Or Electro Dominance Living End, I should say. Hollow One. Oh dear. Well, that was fun. Okay. So it looked like some style of... I don't even know. So get these out of there. I don't even know. Like... Mono red Electro Dominance Living In, or just like mono red Arclight Phoenix nonsense? Deadshot Minotaurs are the things that just like had me thinking, like, what on earth is going on over there? 3 Hollow Ones are kind of hard to beat. think we want Rest in Peace. I'm not entirely sure like what's going on over there. Like that doesn't stop the hollow one draws from our opponent. I think if that's the case, I'm just going to cut both the Lavamancers and bring in a Cindervines. Just kind of the last card to fill out the deck. Yeah. Other than the terrible double shard volley part of the hand, the hand's pretty reasonable. But yeah, you almost never want a hand with double shard volley in it unless you have like 4 lands. So hopefully we'll last a little bit longer than turn 2 this game. I could have continued playing that game, but there's no way we're beating a triple hollow one start when we only have 1 land in hand. So, Wheel of Fate. Yeah, it looks like it's some type of Electro Dominance shenanigans. So, that could be relatively painful here. That said, do we have a turn 3 kill lined up next turn? I mean, if they don't have hollow one, we might have turn 3 kill here lined up. Yep, now we definitely have a turn 3 kill, even if they have a hollow one here. Okay. GG's. Don't want to show them Rest in Peace. I think Cindervines might be a little too cute. Let's bring in like a copy or 2 of Skullcrack and go down like a light up the stage here. We had a turn 3 kill lined up there, regardless of them cycling that 2nd and 3rd Street Wraith. So hand's pretty decent. Though if they have a hollow one draw, it could be a little bit rough. Certainly have the ability to get a hollow one out if they discard multiple cards this turn. Okay. Yep, which means they'll have a hollow one in play, which is mildly annoying. So just sit here and twiddle our thumbs while we try to burn them out, I guess. See how aggressive they're willing to get. Wow. Okay. Lecture Dominance living in here wouldn't be particularly good. can I set up lethal this turn? 15. So if we draw a land, they're dead. Outside of like, oh. Land equals death. So we'll put him to 15. So unfortunate. Lava Spike you. Should keep me alive. Flame Blade Adept doesn't matter. If you have double bolt, I'm dead. If you don't, that's game over. Oh, sure. Cycle Hollow One. Bolt you. Skewer you. Definitely an example of where if we'd drawn another opponent showing us their hand here. Living in, living in, living in. Alright, so 4-1 overall with his deck. We played against several top-tier modern decks and some not-so-top-tier modern decks. Played against Tron, Living End, A Form of Living End, Titan Shift, and then did lose to Mono White Eldrazi and Taxes. And then we played against Mono Black Aggro 1-drops. Like I said, my only consideration for the main deck, as far as if you want to run this style of deck, is probably shave 1 or 2 copies of Shard Volley for Fork Bolt. It's not as mana efficient in terms of damage, but its utility, I think, more than outweighs the fact that you're playing 3 cards of basically a 2-for-1 yourself. Like 1 or 2 maybe is fine, but I think I'd replace at least one of these copies with a Fork Bolt. Sideboard, I think this sideboard as built is pretty solid. Obviously, there's some matchups where like Black Green Rock and such are going to be a little bit more vulnerable, but I think overall this particular build of the deck is perfectly fine. Nice job, Nathan. Nice job. Nathan, not sure how to pronounce that exactly. It's N-A-T-A-N, so I'm pronouncing it Nathan. It could be Nathan, I'm not sure. Sound off in the comments, Nathan, if that Nathan or Nathan, however you pronounce it correctly. And beyond that, this has been the end of episode 6, match number 5. That was pretty much my only suggestion for the deck. I'm liking the 1 Stomping Ground, 2 Cindervine Splash, seems reasonable. And beyond that, if you like what you're seeing on the channel, please consider subscribing, giving us a thumbs up, and leaving a constructive comment down below. As far as what's going on next couple weeks, once school is over here on Thursday of this week, which this video may actually have already, I think this video will actually be released on Friday, so it'll be after that we'll be getting back to some live streaming. I'm going to be releasing some Legacy videos. I found a way to play some Legacy without having to pay $12 a pop. Beyond that, we're going to be doing some leagues, going back to leagues with the Phoenix decks, the Burn decks, and the Sultai Teaching Reclamation decks. Also be bringing back the Death Shadow decks in the fold. So we'll be going full-blown the next couple weeks after school finishes up here for in-class for the semester for me at least. So we'll be getting back to more live streams, getting back to more content, starting that drive to 1,000. I want to thank everybody for helping us get up to 500 subscribers a couple weeks ago. I'll have a Q&A session here one of these days when I can set up a live stream that's long enough to justify people showing up. And beyond that, that's what's going on here. And if you like standard content, we have a standard channel called Standard Nexus MTG that I've been working on putting on content for. That's going to be mostly arena-based standard content, but we will play occasional Magic Online when I don't have the cards on Arena. So beyond that, I want to thank everybody for hanging out, and hope everyone having a great day. This has been Dusk for Dustin on Gaming.